morning, good morning, good morning. How's everyone doing today? How we doing today? It is Tuesday. It is Tuesday morning, an extended weekend. We have some news today at 10 o'clock, so we'll be... Hang on, let me adjust my chair. There we go. It's going to be a good day today. It's going to be good today. How we doing? How are you? How was your guys' this weekend? Let's see here. Do I got live? Good morning. Bray Bear, how you doing? Alkai, how you doing, my friend? Good to see ya. Hopefully you guys had a good weekend. Let me make sure I got the stream. Nothing's delayed. Give me an option before to make sure. We're going to have a great day. Either way, it's going to be fantastic. We're going to be talking about how to use fair value gaps today. So if you are joining in or you're watching after the fact, we're going to be talking about fair value gaps, how to use them in your trading, because there's multiple ways to use them in your trading. We're going to be going over those here today. But let's kind of get an overview of where things are at. We had an extended weekend. We had some holiday trading, and normally this holiday trading is usually there's no relevance to it. However, some of this price action I'm looking at here is beautiful. Like, I wish I was trading yesterday. I actually don't. I was out on the lake yesterday with my family. And, but, I mean, look at this. Look at this. Look at this move over London, man. I would have loved. Look at this. We had this new day opening gap. Look at that new day opening gap. Right there. Now let's go back and see where that goes to. Not very far, I guarantee you, because I remember putting it on here, right here. This was Thursday into Friday, and look how big this new day opening gap was. It was so small that I only put one line. There's Thursday at 16.59, and there is the opening price at 1800 on Thursday. Look at that. I mean, we're talking maybe a penny or 25 cents, maybe a tick. But we still put it on there. And look where that move went to. My computer's slow. It feels slow right now. Okay? So disrespected it. I mean, it's just going up and down. Nothing. You're thinking, well, it has no relevance here. Why is my... Everything's slow. Let's just do this. And then look at the drop right here. Almost to the tick. After, you got to tell me, you're telling me that there is, when you get a giant move like this moving, just trucking along, and it just stops there? No. Algorithmic. Intentional. Do you know what's great about this? It's not that, ICT says it's algorithmic. It's not about that. It's about, because it's algorithmic, it's repeatable, it means we can trade it. It means we can come up with a strategy, we can lay it out there, and we can trade it consistently. That is what's amazing about it. It's why I'm blown away by it every time. So look at that giant move. Just a massive drop from 645 down to 445. Let's say 640. That's 200 points. And it stops on a dime at the new day opening gap. Okay. With that being said, we did drop our new week opening gaps for this week, and we are right here. These are our two new weeks opening gaps. I put the dates on the new week opening gaps. So the previous weeks are right here, and so this is going to be September, I guess, 3rd, 2nd. We'll put that on here. We got 2 minutes till open. We're not trading anything until after 10 o'clock. I think we have Jolts. Is that what it is? No, it's not Jolts. What is it? Right here, we got Tuesday's trading, PMI, ISM manufacturing at 10 o'clock. That's what we're waiting for. Now, with the holiday weekend also, I'm going to be downsizing. I'm going to be taking smaller size today. Simply because we had a holiday, Monday holiday, and I believe we got non-farm payroll on Friday. I believe that's the case. Yeah. So I want to be careful just with some big news at the end of the week. See if anything happens here. All right, so we have opening price taking place right now. We're going to mark out opening price. This is our opening price. We're going to mark that. Expect unless it retraces completely, I think we should run this low resistance liquidity all sitting right here. Run to at least beneath this and see what happens. See what happens after that. So here is our daily fair value gap that we've come into here recently. We've left these equal highs that are still sitting there. Those equal highs are sitting right, where are they? Right there. These will be a draw on liquidity. I've said it for a week now, and we haven't hit them yet. So for me, we found support in this daily fair value gap. We didn't spend much time into it. We went out of it. The only thing that I'm really looking at is potentially the previous day swing low, which would have been Friday's swing low. We could also look at Monday's, but I doubt Monday's is going to be relevant. Yeah, here's Friday's swing low. We're going to watch this. We want to put this on our chart just to make sure we're watching the previous day low being hit, because that's a big indicator if price wants to reverse, if it hits this low. Now, it doesn't have to get there if it wants to move higher. But right now, I would say we are in somewhat of a downtrend. That is what it looks as if price is supporting right now. Here's our 5-minute time frame. Let me drop that on the charts for you so you can see that. Really, the level we're looking at is this level right here, down at 19,371. Good morning, Deborah. Good morning, Charles. Felipe, how you doing? Hopefully you guys are doing great this morning. We're going to be talking about how to view fair value gaps, how to use fair value gaps, okay? And we have our first one in price from the opening. I like that. We're going to mark that on our charts here. The next thing that we want to do, make sure that we do that, we want to drop to regular trading hours and we want to mark the opening range gap. Do you see how this is a big gap right here from the opening range? Right there. We're going to mark that just with a very light yellow, so it's not obtrusive, but it's there. What I want to see as of right now, boom, boom. That is what I want to see happen. That is really what I want to see. That would make my day. That would make a beautiful trade. Why do I like this? 1, we grab liquidity. 2, we fill the opening range gap. 3, it's towards the equal highs. That is why. I do think we see some higher prices in price. I just don't know when. So, as we can see as we look at price, this is our first fair value gap that we've seen in price action. And it's the first one in the New York session. Okay. The other thing that I like about this is I'm currently putting together a Power of 3 video, a new Power of 3 video that I'm working on, and how we can use this opening price to really use the Power of 3 concepts, AMD. So we have our accumulation, our manipulation, potentially, and then our distribution all the way up to what I would say is my draw on liquidity, the equal highs. So from 930, that's how I'm viewing this. I'm viewing this as potential manipulation. Now, if we just drop, I obviously will have it wrong, and we have to reassess and come up with a new hypothesis on what we think is going to happen with price. But right now, this is what I think is going to happen with price. And so we wait for that to play out, and we use that as our opportunity. So I'm going to be trading, because I'm downsizing, I am on a different screen today for my executions. So we will not be seeing those on screen today. We're gonna get my brokers all squared away here. It logged me out of Trading View, so I have to reactivate my Trading View access. Give me a second here, folks. Would love it to just dip a little bit more. If it completely starts reversing without grabbing this low, I'm still okay with it. It does not. And the reason why I say that is because we've seen price come so close to levels before and then completely reverse. I'm okay with it saying, hey, this is my draw, but I'm going to leave it for maybe later and go the other direction. I'm just not going to take anything right here. I'm going to need further confirmation closer up here. Oh, that's what I realized I did wrong. Okay. All right, so we're still waiting here. Still waiting. And we're still also, I did say we're also waiting until 10 o'clock anyway. I want to wait for the news. We're not going to jump the gun on anything. We're going to wait for that obvious setup because it happens, my friends. Those obvious setups show up in price. We're going to wait for them. As of right now, we haven't had anything that's obvious. All right, we are set. Love the stash. Thanks, man. My family doesn't. Man, I wanted to do something a little different. My wife isn't the biggest fan at the moment. I said I'm gonna give it a week, see if it grows on them a little bit. So I'm gonna give it a little bit of time before they make me rip it off my face. My wife is not a big fan of the stash. All right, there's our low. That's what I wanted to see. Let's see what happens. See if we get some movement the other direction. But at the same time, I want structure. What do I mean by structure? Something like this. That's structure. And it's not just random structure. It's specific structure. This being a breaker right here, and this being an entry right here to a high side. That's kind of the structure I like to see. How was everybody's weekend? You guys do anything fun? You guys do anything exciting? We went to the lake. We went fishing. Went swimming. Had my son's first tackle football game. We had his first season tackle football. We had a tournament we went to. But he ended up scoring 2 touchdowns. Got the 2 touchdowns for the team. I was pumped for him. He's in 4th grade, so 4th grader. That's a good pour right there. We have this looks like the accumulation. We have a move lower distribution, and I could see a reaccumulation take place here. It's really hard to determine how far we want to go down here. We are still, I'm going to take this off the screen, but we are still doing our 3 trade challenge. Does that show up here? We are still doing our 3 trade challenge. Put in the comments below if you tried it out, if you tried the 3 trade challenge, and you found the value in being patient and only taking 3 trades in a day. Put it in the comments for those that have done it, or if you have done it in the past. Put in the comments for anybody that may have not done it, what kind of impact you had. Or if you attempted to do it, but then kind of slipped out of it and then felt the consequences of it, which... that is a real thing. That is a real thing that people deal with, is having the intention and the focus to do that. This is a fair value gap right here. Well, we're not taking this one, even though it looks nice. And it probably is going to explode higher there. We're not taking that. What the heck? There we go. You would be targeting this high, but we're not taking it. Why? It's the first one. I like to see structure form first, guys. Structure. This is just a drop, so I don't want to take it on a knife going down. I want to see structure. Now, if it happens, great. Well, then now that's our structure. And we'll see if we can find another opportunity in that. We still got 15 minutes before open. Before news. We gonna be patient today. We gonna be patient and wait for that perfect A+ setup. All right, so look at that trade there. It gave us the sign that it wants to move higher, but then it's closed with a nice big wick. It's still valid, but as soon as it closes below this fair value gap, it's not valid anymore. Okay, so let's see if it wants to continue higher or what happens here. This is why I don't like playing with them right away on a knife, on basically a nice long drop. Typically, you do not see price do this. Very rarely do you see price do that. Now on higher time frames, you could see that. But on lower time frames, you're going to see more structure. And that's really what we're looking for. And this can constitute a structure. But another attempt to move lower that fails would be nice. So something that goes like this, maybe stops at that previous day low and then continues higher. Something like that would be nice as well. Josh, what are you saying here? What about the lower low at 336 on 829 right here? Yeah. So it could. The answer is this, Josh. Previous day lows are big levels. So we want to look at this as it being this level. If it wants to continue lower, then we draw our attention to the previous day low before the previous day. The previous day low. That is why we're looking at this level here, because it's the previous day's low. It's a key level. If it wants to run for this low, it's going to show us some price pretty quickly. But price will stop at those key levels and move, either consolidate, retrace, or reverse. So that's what we're watching for. It hit a key level. Now our eyes are peeled. We're watching. Does it want to consolidate, retrace, or reverse? What does a retracement look like? A retracement would look like something going up to, let's say, 930 and then continuing lower. That would be a retracement, right? We obviously know what a consolidation is, and a reversal means it obviously doesn't want to stop and it keeps going higher. Charles, yes, so far so good with the 3-trade challenge, up almost 4K. When I wanted to do machine gunning, I did it on Sim and I went minus 20K. Hey, I'm telling you, if you can have the discipline to add on to what Charles is saying, if you can have the discipline to be patient and take only 3 trades and wait for the best of the best, and if you don't know what the best of the best are, it's okay. It means you're not to a point where you should really be live trading yet. Before you're live trading, before you're using an eval account, a prop firm account, you need to have a strategy, a stop loss management plan, and you have to have rules. When you have those, then you can begin to take those steps in these prop firms, right? You can take steps into a live account. But if you don't and you can't identify a setup, well, then it's probably not time for you to jump into a live account. And that is what I'm here for. I'm here to help you identify a trading strategy, a trading plan, put risk management together, and then you guys run. You guys run for it and crush it. Okay? So this fair value gap did play out. For those of you that don't have a strategy, this is called the inversion fair value gap, where it breaks through it, closes, finds support above it, and moves higher. Perfect example. Why didn't I want to take it? Well, I'm waiting for two things. For two reasons. Number one, news is at 10 o'clock. Number two, I typically like to see the second attempt lower before we start moving. And this would have been the attempt lower, but this attempt came after the fact that we broke this. So I wanted to see something a little bit different. For somebody else, they may have taken this and said, this is my model. I'm going to go for it. And it worked. And it worked. There's not a wrong way to trade, except if you're gambling and you're just clicking the button because you think it's going to go down. Ooh, it's going to go down here. It's going to go down right now. It's going to go down. I'm going to get in. That's gambling. Don't do that. Also, I did, for those of you that are joining and haven't been here a lot, back in July, was it July? It was like the very end of July, it was beginning of August. I had I left a limit order on, and my copied accounts basically blew up. So I lost basically all my accounts. And I'm rebuilding mine right now, and I just purchased. I got another account. I'm rebuilding those. I'm back up to 3 accounts right now. I only do one at a time. I don't do what some of these other guys do, where they try to copy 20 eval accounts. I don't do that. I'm not there yet in my personal journey. And I'm back up to 3 funded accounts right now. I got 2 that are just about to be above the threshold for payouts. I got about $500 to go. But my point in saying that is Apex is still doing that Labor Day sale, which when you get a funded account, it's half price, $85, which, man, I love that. That's basically 2 for the price of 1 for me. So, for those of you, if you do use Apex, use that code DTJ. That's all I ask. Don't change anything that you're already doing. If you don't use them or you don't like them, I don't care. That's fine with me. Everybody got their thing, and it's totally fine. Here's an example of what I wanted to see going lower. I wanted to see a price attempt to go lower, and then maybe use this fair value gap right here. Why would I be okay with using that? Because we swung and grabbed this liquidity right here, and we have our previous day low right here. That's the context on why I think we could at least run this high right here. But we have news in 8 minutes, so I'm very cautious on that because I want to wait. Can I repeat how I identified that fair value gap? Are you talking about this one right here? This one? That one right there? Just hit me up on the chat and let me know, and then I'll talk about that one. Or if it was this one up here. Either one, I don't care, because I got both of them on my chart for a reason. I am half size today. Okay, so for this one, why did I identify this one? Because 2 reasons. We hit a key level, this green line right here. This is the previous day's low. Can you see that on my chart? Okay, I think my face is kind of covering it up. There it is. This level right here is a previous day low. This is a Friday, the Friday's lowest price from Friday. We drag that all the way to today, and here's that level right there. Boom. We hit that level, and then I look left from the time we hit this level. Oh, there's a fair value gap. Does price want to find support or reject, find a resistance going higher and move lower? Or does it want to close right through it and find support above it? We call that an inversion fair value gap. When that inversion fair value gap holds, we target the closest swing high. A swing high is when you got a low, high, low, basically another low. So this high and two points that are beneath that. So a swing high. Okay? 2 lower points, 1 high point. And we target that swing high. That's exactly what happened. And then we dropped. We came up into this fair value gap I told you I liked, but what did we find? We found resistance in that fair value gap, and we dropped. Now, as far as where do I want my target to be, we just hit the Thursdays. We didn't hit the Thursday swing low. That's another reason why. I don't know who brought that up. Somebody asked me about that. Who was that? Josh. This also isn't a previous day low. It's a swing low. It's a key level. It's something that I want to take note of. But this one was the lowest of the day. The lowest of the day over here is way lower, way down here. We're not even close to that Wednesday low of day. Now, the other thing I want you to see here, we just ran this low here. If we get an aggressive move right here, I'm interested in that. Are we after? We're not. Dang it. That looks nice on the 30-second. Depending on if we get the 10 o'clock candle and we get a trade and we get a close above, I'm going to close this now. And I'm going to mark this right here. If we get a close above this 30-second to target this high and then this high, I would be interested in that. This is the level. This is a swing low. That swing low is also the level that grabbed the previous day low, so I like that. And we aggressively took that, but we stopped. So do we aggressively move the other direction, which does happen? And when that happens, this is a beautiful entry. So I'm not saying this is what we're going to take. I'm saying we want to watch, do we get an aggressive move above this level without grabbing this high? If we do, we take that long to this high, to this high. When we hit this high, we move our stop to break even. So it's a free trade. And for our 3-trade challenge, if you get a break even trade, you live another day. You get another chance. It doesn't count against one of your 3 trades. A break even trade is coveted on this stream. If you can move your stop to break even and preserve your capital, that is the cream of the crop strategy. You can get your positions can be ran to break even more often because you're moving your stop up. You can get stopped out, but I would rather be stopped out at break even than lose 10 handles and be down on the day. And for those of you that are like, man, this is boring, I want to make something happen, this is the type of stuff you need to get comfortable with. Day trading, this is day trading here. This right here, what we're doing, waiting, reading price action is day trading. We just will find, one opportunity to take along, and then we're in a trade. But I would say 75% of your time is waiting. Okay, I really want this to stay below at till the 10 o'clock and then close above it after 10. That's really what I would like. That's what I think is going to happen here. We got the 5 minute here. $30 left. Depending on the volatility of the 10 o'clock candle will determine if I'm going to take it or not. I don't know if I'm going to take it or not right on the news candle. That seems a little foolish to take the news candle. DV, did I answer your question? I want to make sure you understood what I was referring to. All right, there's 10 o'clock candle right there. A wick. Let's see if it holds here or if it wants to continue lower. If it continues lower, guys, we might have the wrong bias, and that's okay. That happens. I'm not like bent out of shape about it. We'll just reevaluate and figure out what our new bias is and see if an opportunity shows up there. But if I'm honest with you guys, I would rather be patient and not change my bias, because I've changed my bias in the past too quickly, and it doesn't work out for me. Here's a potential another fair value gap. I'm still looking for those longs. Let's see if we get aggression moving back up here. We hit the new day opening gap from the 29th of August. Doesn't mean we're going to reverse here. It's just something I like to note. There, see that aggression right there? And it just made equal highs. Made equal highs. Let's see if it gives us an opportunity. It's too close. All right, I'm going to take that. You're going to need to move your stop to break even fairly quickly, and I might have missed my opportunity because I'm on another screen right here. We just wicked that high, and I should have moved my stop to break even. I didn't have the opportunity, but that's okay. Let's see if it wants to continue. I think we're going to run higher here, guys. All right, the next thing we're watching is, do we close above this? I'm in a long right now. I got in long right here. My stop was right here. I'm going to move my stop to break even.
Order submitted.
Dang it. I didn't get him. All right. Stops at break even right now. Let's see if it wants to run for us or against us. If it stops me out, it stops me out. But it's a break even trade. Come on. Give me a big push higher. There it is. We want to target. We're going to target. Let's see if we can get. I'll take some size off here, guys, actually. I'm going to take 2 contracts off. I did 5 micros. I can't yet. We're not. There we go. I'll take 2 off right here at 10 handles. I got 3 contracts left. See what kind of reactions, if it's choppy or not. But this is a beautiful, beautiful signature and price. Come on, it's not. It hasn't broken. There's my stop out. All right, got stopped out.
Order submitted.
Let me make sure everything's closed correctly. All right, everything's closed correctly. So I call that a win. Break even trade, took some size off. Now let's see if we find resistance here. Our first attempt to see if this inversion fair value gap wants to hold. We're not taking a trade off of this. We're just seeing if price wants to hold. Do you see how this fair value gap found resistance here and it did not close above it? That tells me this is more significant than this level here. So I'm taking that level off. And if we break this level, it tells me we have a greater shot of moving and continuing higher. Okay? That's how I view that. Now, I want to give my reasoning. I want to make sure I address probably the lingering thoughts in people's heads. Well, why is he trading on another screen? There's two reasons. Number one, what you're seeing here is the Nasdaq, not the micros. This is the minis. This is NQU. All your analysis should be done on here. So when I'm talking to you guys and I'm showing you stuff on the chart, I don't want to show you stuff on the micro account because that is not primary. That's secondary. I execute on the micros based on the minis account. What you see here. So my execution, my analysis is all done on here. But because we're on we're coming off a holiday weekend, I'm downsizing, meaning I'm going on micros, and I just don't want to risk as much money. So that's number one. Number two, there is the second reason is when you do video, I'm doing less video of live trades because Apex. Because of Apex. That's the truth. I did not trade on news. I traded on at the 10:01 candle. The 10:01 candle closed right here. It closed above this fair value gap, and I took it for these highs, and it couldn't continue higher. It struggled on that continuing higher, so I got stopped out at break even. That's all right. You're not missing anything, Deborah. We are moving lower. All right, time to get rid of that. You've been warned, you've been told how to do your 3-day trades. Let's go to the 15-minute chart here. Let's see what we got. Here's our new day opening gap. Man, there's really nothing here, guys. When I look at this level here, and I look at what we got going down here on reasons to go lower, my attention goes, holy freaking cow, I want these equal highs. So I'm not really interested in shorts. I don't think I'm going to change my bias. And if it means I don't get to take a trade or another trade, that means I don't trade. I know 1.8 million. Now the conspiracy is that that was fake. 1.8 million is fake. Man, all I have to say is you got some balls to say you made a payout of 1.8 million and it being fake. Judas, new day opening gap. What are you saying? New day opening gap. We're sitting at that new day opening gap right here. I know. This I think I'm still waiting for that move higher. I'm still looking at this as manipulation with an expansion higher. Okay? We're waiting for that opportunity to give us something. I thought it was right here. It gave us signatures and price. We took it and it failed. So now we wait. I'm going to jump out of the 30-second here. Let's look at the 1 minute. All right, so here's a point I want to make. I want to make this. Some of you might say, hey, look at that beautiful 1 minute fair value gap right there. And my answer is, yeah, but this level here is showing us the resistance. So this is less probable. This is more probable. This still could work. This also could work. So it's a risk tolerance type trade. You decide what you want to take. We just swept the lows here. Gives me the green light for a move higher. What do I want to do? I don't know yet. Honestly, I'm undecided. If this is aggressive, guys, aggressive candles grab my attention. And if it gives me an entry on a big candle, I take it. I'll take it. I want to see an OB into the noonday opening gap, then play the breakout. Well, if you want that, I would say I would want to see that on a 5 minute, not the 1 minute. I like 5 minute order blocks more than I like 1 minute order blocks. Unless we're already in the trending move higher. If, for example, if we're trending lower, I'll take a 1 minute order block right here. This is a 1 minute order block to the downside. So if we're going to continue lower, I would want to see it find resistance here and move lower. Right? Look at this right here. 1 minute order block right here. What did it do? Found resistance there, moved lower. It works well when price is already trending. When I'm looking for reversals, I'd rather go 5 or 15 minute, not a 1 minute. 1 minute is just too low for me at this point in my trading career to be able to have confidence that a reversal is taking place. Okay, if we break this OB, this is a bearish OB. Next thing I'm watching is the midpoint of this OB, the mean threshold. It overlaps with this fair value gap right here. Hey, we got new numbers there. Let's change that. I'm patient, guys. I'm comfortable. I'm okay. So should you. The longer I trade, the more I realize, man, it is way easier to be content and not be anxious about missing a move and waiting and receiving what the Lord has for you, receiving the trades that show up. And that's what I've been doing lately. Just receiving what the Lord has for us. We were green all week last week. Fantastic trading last week. Want to keep up that trend. It was great doing that 3 trade challenge. We're going to do that again here. 3 trades. Now, I took 1 trade, but it was break even. I did take a partial. on it at 10 handles. Very small partial, but majority of the size was stopped out at break even. Dang it! I wanted it to start going higher. I don't want to keep waiting. I mean, I will. Don't have a problem waiting. But it's like when you start seeing the signs that you think, ooh, I see the formation of my setup. And then it drops. Yeah, we've already had the down first, Judas. We've already had the down first, in my opinion. But if it wants to go further, it goes further. That's fine. That's fine. I'm okay with that. There's nothing in price here. Let's look. I'm not taking a trade here, guys, so we're going to do some analysis. There's nothing in price action here that says I want to go lower. That's obvious. Let's go to the 1 hour. We're in this opening range. We're in the new day opening gap from the 29th. Okay, we let's see. We could mark that out. Let's mark that out. Okay, here's the opening, new day opening gap high. Here's the low, and these are the quarters in between. Let's see if we find any resistance on any of those, or we find any points breaking down that larger gap. Let's go down, going back to the 1 hour. Let's drop to or jump up to the 4 hour. The 4 hour, okay, all right. I like this. This is why we do this. Here's a 4 hour fair value gap. And look, oh my gosh, I love when this happens. Look where that consequent encroachment of the 4 hour fair value gap overlaps with. We just put the quarters on from the new day opening gap, and that level perfectly overlaps. So we filled this fair value gap. Here's the thing. If we are going to see higher prices, I do not want to see this 4 hour fair value gap completely filled. I want to see this bottom half stay open. I want to see this bottom half, the discount portion of this 4 hour fair value gap, stay open. That would tell me we have a bigger, higher move coming. If we fill this whole thing, we could still get that. It's just not the signature in price that I want. It is NFP week. Friday is NFP. Good morning, T-Man. Yeah, the first fair value gap is used every day. Yeah, this is why I still have it here, because if we cross this and close above the 930 price, I'll be targeting these highs here, somewhere up here, and maybe these equal highs. That's really what I would love. I'm looking for that big move. I told you guys I've been wanting to work on holding for bigger moves. Do you guys see how big that move would be though? Let's just go from 930. That's 217 handles, 215 handles. That's a monster move. My biggest trade I've ever had so far last week, 168 handles. And when I say biggest trade, I normally take 10 to 20 handle trades. That is my bread and butter. In and out. Look at that, guys. Ooh, we might be getting something. Okay, I don't like the time. I'm not a fan of the time right now. It's 10:18. You can still get a trade. It can still happen. You just find your best moves in the macro times, which is the last 15 minutes and the first 15 minutes of an hour. Okay? So what did we have here? We had this big move, lower move from when? 10 o'clock. Big move. Guess what time it was? 949, big move lower. This is what I'm talking about. You get pushes lower or higher around those times. So it could still happen. Just not my favorite time. I have favorites. You know what, Judas? You have a good point there. You have a great point. Looking at the week's economic calendar, I didn't think about this. Those weekly highs could be ran or saved for Friday. That's a great point. Now, here's the thing I will say, though, about that. They could be saved for Friday, but I can still use them as a draw on liquidity to a lower target. That's what I would be doing. That's how I'd be viewing it. But when I see stuff like this, don't you love this? I love this. Oh, man. It makes me feel like I am starting to, not starting. It makes me feel like I'm seeing things. Like I'm seeing price. I'm beginning to put the pieces of market order flow together. And when you see just something like this happen, it's beautiful. Now, it doesn't mean it can't go lower. You guys just need to understand that. We see a reaction there. 1, 2, 3 times. 3 times right at the consequent encroachment of this 4-hour fair value gap, which also is the 75% level of this of August 29th's new day opening gap from high to low. All right, Judas, we'll see you, man. Have a blessed day. Thanks for joining in, stopping in. Congrats on passing the eval. Let's make it happen. Do you see how this, though? Look at this right here. This wick, move lower, and then a wick up, immediate rebalance. And then it just takes away that fair value gap. Signature and price, that tells me we could have some consolidation around this area. So what I'm going to be doing is waiting till we don't have that anymore. And hopefully that happens around 11 o'clock. Okay, so I'm going to be marking a couple things out here that I want to see happen for my reversal. This is a 5-minute candle. I want to see this turn into an order block. This will tell me on a 5-minute light, if we have a close above this level, we'll have a change in state of delivery. This right here is going to be my biggest indication that price wants to start moving the other direction. So that's what I'll be waiting for at this point. I'm not going to try to take any types of longs in here until, very, very important, we have a 5-minute close above this level. Because anything could happen in here. And until we have that close above, this all could be just manipulation, trying to get orders and new positions, getting people just to mess around. This is where I lose most of my money when I do it. I'm not in a trade, Deborah. No, I'm not. I have taken one, but it stopped at a break even. I did take a take profit. I did take 10 handles. I did take a partial at 10 handles, but the rest stopped out at break even. But so right now we are sitting in this 4-hour fair value gap inside this new day opening gap from the 29th of August, looking for price to begin moving the other direction. And I want to see a 5-minute close above this candle right here. Now, the close above dot does not mean I enter a trade. It means I'm free to begin to look for that opportunity. It could be right away. It could be 5, 10, 20 minutes later. We gotta analyze and watch price to see if it gives it to us and be patient in the process. Patience is key. Give me 1 second, folks. My wife walked in the door, and I wanted to see if she wants to do lunch with me today. We both work from home. And I've noticed when we both work from home, we kind of miss each other all the time, even though we're both home. It's strange. So I'm like, hey, let's put something on the calendar and do a lunch date. With football starting, we almost have all our evenings, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, are pretty much all taken. So, just want to do a little date with my wife. 2 minutes left on this 5-minute candle. We're getting close to this level here. We're going to wait. But the thing I want you to notice is even in this price action here, do you see really any obvious fair value gaps? I see 2 tiny ones, but ignore the tiny fair value gaps right now. Is that okay, so that's not a fair value gap. It's really close to one. Here's a fair value gap right here, and we used that and moved higher, but we have nothing else going on. Patience pays. Patient pays. 3 trades. Only 3 trades for you guys. Focus is just on 3 trades. I am gonna go. Let's start talking about the fair value gaps. I want to talk about fair value gaps today. I want to talk about fair value gaps and the types of fair value gaps that you can look at. And we'll read some price action to see if we'll probably get some type of reaction. It's 1 minute till 10:30. 1 minute till 10:30. Usually at the 30-minute candle, you get a little bit of a reaction. I've been caught in those before thinking that, oh, this is the move because it's a large candle, but then it retraces immediately and then it doesn't. It barely moves. We got 45 seconds for this to close above here. If not, we got to wait another 5 minutes. I'm expecting to wait another 5 minutes. Now, if it gives me an aggressive candle and closes here before that 5 minutes, guess what? We wait another 5 minutes. It doesn't mean you can't take like an inversion trade, but there's no inversion obvious trade that I see right here. So we got to wait. Got relatively equal lows that we just ran just now. I just saw that and I'm like, that's probably going to run those. We got that small fair value gap sitting right here. What is it going to do with it? Is it going to just blow right through it? We're going to find support in it. We are looking at the close, not necessarily the candle or the wick. I care about the candle. The close. We closed below it. And we are respecting this bearish order block right here with the bodies all closed beneath the mean threshold of this order block, bearish order block. Maybe lower prices. Even still, there's not an opportunity for me here, guys. The only one, and I missed it, I see it right now, but I would have never taken it because I'm looking for longs. Look at this, to the tick. Right here. High, low, higher high. That's a breaker. I probably would have never taken it, and to expect myself to have been able to identify that when I already wanted to see higher prices. Now, if I was bearish and I was looking for bearish moves, I may have seen this. I may have seen this. But I wasn't looking for lower moves, and it's obvious we are going down. In either there's two answers for me today. Either I have the wrong bias, number one, or number two, we will get our expansion move higher in the PM session. Those are the two answers that I see right now. It blows my mind because of how often I see equal highs ran, that these levels have stayed intact. That just does not happen. That doesn't. I mean, you look anywhere in price, it will run those. It will run those. Anywhere in price, you will not see those left for very long. I mean, even as I'm looking right here, I don't see any. Rarely will you see them. So this is very, very unique. And so for me, it's a matter of, can I capitalize on that, on the push that's going to go there? Because it will. Hey, I'm not sure if there's a delay. How can I tell on my end? Oh, how can you tell? Look at the time. Deborah, I don't know how long ago that text was or that message was. So if we're on, look right here on the bottom right corner, it'll say give the time. The time, does it show on there? Oh, it doesn't. Okay. Let me switch over to minis. There it is. Right here. So the time is 10:34:08, 9, 10, 11. Look at this 2 minute that was violated to the upside. This is why we wait. That 2 minute closed above, but it never grabbed these highs and then dropped. So we got to be careful on our longs. You have a 20-second delay? Okay. There is a latency option that is unmarked. I've had it before where it lets me click on it. Let me show you guys. I'll actually share you the screen so you can see. So here's my dashboard. Here's my streaming settings. Under streaming latency right here. It has unmarked. I can't select these. But there's ultra low, there's ultra low latency. And I can't check it. I've been able to check it before, but today it's not allowing me. So I'll have to figure out why it's unmarked when it's, or how to get it as a selectable option, because I've had it there before. And that was the day people were telling me it was about 5-second delay. Stupid. Okay, if I'm looking at a level, I could say this new day opening gap low would be the level. Right down here. Why? Because if you scroll to the left, not only is it the low, but we also have a swing low here that we could grab. I mean, that just blows. Even right at the open, we have only this wick of, what is it? 5 handles. And then we just drop, giving us this first, oh wait, no, that's wrong. Yeah, wick right here and a drop. Now guys, this is why I'm still bullish. We have this opening range gap right here. That's unfilled. That, if we go down to the regular trading hours, this is price action for the day so far. This will be filled. It will be filled. We also have equal highs. There's no reason for us to go lower. It just, in my mind, this is what I want to wait for. So if it's going to continue to trend lower, I'll be patient and I'll wait for the move that's going to pay me. For the move that's going to pay me. And it's going to be a great move too. It's going to be worth the wait. Oh man, when you get those moves, guys, when you get the big move, when you get that trade, it makes all of the waiting worth it. It makes all of the waiting worth it. Not only does it make it worth it, man, you feel like a champ. To be able to go, man, Tyler, you just waited. You just waited for this move, and you skipped all of these other fake moves, all of these other temptations of trying to get you to get in the market. That there is a huge sign of growth, and if you can do that, I promise you, you will see success in your trading. And it's just not a one-off or a lucky Lou. No, so order blocks are not sideways price action. That is a mistake. This is called time distortion. I called it time distortion. So, and I'm not seeing time distortion here. This isn't time distortion. This is just a move that's taking the entirety of an hour. What an order block is the beginning of a move. So if we're looking at the 15 minute, this is an order block that will become solidified here in 4 minutes. As long as this candle closes below that low, that's now an order block. On a 5-minute perspective, same thing. That low is the same low as a 15-minute, and this is an order block. Now, what I wanted to see was this candle turn into the order block, a bullish order block, but we didn't get that. All right, we are at 9:41. I'm sorry, that's my local time. We're at 10:41. 5 minutes till the macro begins, and we're going to see if we can get anything here. See if price wants to show us it wants to. Honestly, the only thing I'm looking for is move the other direction. So if it doesn't want to do that, I guess, if it does give me, I would take a small trade to the downside if it does something like this. And it gave us a fair value gap in here that it violated. I would do that. But I'm not sure it's going to give us that. If there's only a minute delay, are you saying there's only a minute delay for you? If there's only a minute delay, that would be amazing. That would be insanely awesome. It just frustrates me that it doesn't seem consistent with people. Charles, I'm going to answer your question. I'm just seeing it here. It just frustrates me that there's inconsistency, it seems like, between different viewers on the live stream. What's the significance of an order block? An order block is a signature in price where smart money goes long or short. If this is a bearish order block, let's just use it, make it simplistic purposes. This is a bearish order block. Why? Because you get a move. When this candle closes here in 37 seconds, it confirms that this was a lower order block. Your goal as a trader is to be able to identify these in advance, to be able to do a setup, and to take trades off of them for future setups. Why is this an order block? This is an order block. An order block is an order block because smart money, who has millions and millions of dollars worth of entries, can only get their positions filled when people are buying. I'm going to say that again another way. Okay? When this is a green candle, this means what? Price is moving higher. When price is moving higher, what do retail traders do? They're buying to go higher. Well, who's buying those orders to go higher? Smart money. Smart money is selling those buy orders to retail because they want to go short. This is big right here. This is understanding institutional order flow. Smart money, big institutions, large funds cannot get in a position unless if they want to go short, they can only go short when you get green candles. Why? Because in those green candles, people are buying, prices moving higher. If people are buying a position, who is selling them that position? Traders that are going short. Traders that are going short are selling buyers that want to go long that position. That is the significance of an order block. So if smart money, which is big institutions, are the ones selling those buy orders here, they're expecting price to do this, drop. So when we see the signature in price that comes back up to a significant order block, I should add, and it comes up to this level again, and we have reason for a draw in liquidity to be lower, we can actually take a buy when it enters an order block here, because this is where smart money went short. So if smart money went short here, they probably are still expecting it to go lower if it comes back and retests it. It's giving those smart money investors, traders, another opportunity to get in short, to go lower. That is the significance of an order block. The same goes for reverse. If we have an order block that is let me give you one here. When we have a candle like this solid candle right here, when it moves lower, this is a bullish order block. So who's trying to go short right here? Retail. Why? Because it looks as if it's dropping. Who's selling them those short orders? Smart money traders who want to go long. It's a zero-sum game. So somebody has to sell those short orders. The people that are selling the short orders to those short traders are smart money. They are expecting it to go long. So when it does go long, when price comes back into this order block, this candle here, this is another opportunity for smart traders to also go long. And what happens? It explodes higher. This was a great trade. This was a 15-minute close, 15-minute fair value gap that found support, and then it exploded higher. This was a beautiful trade, by the way. I talked about this briefly last week. Or I think in a video, actually. So that, Charles, is the significance of order blocks and why we look at them to indicate where smart money wants to take price. Yes, smart money takes the opposite of what retails are taking. What is this? Oh, man. Okay. We're still in the macro time. I just haven't seen anything. I mean, guys, it looks like it. I mean, looks like it wants to melt. Melting it is. Melting it is. We're going to take these levels off. We ran right through that. Now we have another new day opening gap from the 15th. I thought about taking this one off, but I didn't, and the main reason I didn't was because of this low. It was at this low. And look how it came and respected that here on the 28th from the 15th. Isn't that crazy? Let's go to the 1 hour and I'll show you here. So here is that new day opening gap from the 15th. Way over here. Price runs into that and then explodes off of it. I mean, isn't that insane? That just blows me away. What are we going to do here? Quite frankly, I don't know. Surgical Striker. Do you know where you read that or heard that from him? Maybe I missed that. And if that's the case, I would love to hear what he says about it. Gotta go. 2-year-old just woke up. From last week. I have not gotten through his last week lectures. I mean, I think there's 2 of them that are 4 hours long. I mean, I can't complain. I realize that all my streams are at least 2 hours long. Except he doesn't spend time on current price, hardly any time on current price action. It's mostly what has happened in the past. Interesting. I will go and listen to that. Yeah, because I remember in his previous lectures from a while ago, he referenced the first fair value gap. And then I remember, was it maybe 2 weeks ago, a week ago, he referenced it again and didn't say anything about it, about a 5-minute rule. But if he said it last week, I haven't watched last week, so I'll be interested when I finally get to those lectures. The London Bankers Close. Well, that's what we're waiting for then. That's what I'm waiting for. I'll be right back, folks. I'm going to use the restroom. Did I miss anything? No. Surgical Striker. He said the 930 cannot be first fair value gap as it doesn't have reference at the... Oh, so you're talking about if I was to go to the regular trading hours and we look at here, it doesn't have a candle above it. I can see that. I've actually had that question in my head before. So then, do you reference this tiny one? I don't even know if I'd want to reference that tiny one. This one would seem more significant, or this one here. Except this one overlaps with this one here. Well, there it is, folks. I just learned something. And maybe that would have given us an opportunity. That looks really nice. Look at the reaction from the 930 candle. I mean, that fair value gap on the 935 candle is right here. I mean, it looks great. But the key on this, though, yeah, that's, I mean, it's beautiful. That reaction is great. The key on this, though, is if you need to have the bias correct. I had the bias wrong, at least for the morning session. If I was long, I would have looked at this and I would have waited. Boom, boom, boom. We closed above it here. And then rejected again. I would have had to have a bearish bias to be able to take this. Because this would have been the trade right here. What time is it? 9:53? Yeah. At 9:53, that would have been the entry. That would be the key level right there. Or a sweep or make equal lows or something close to it. Deborah. But I'm looking at this price action. I mean, we're still waiting here because there's here. Let me just put the 1 minute over here so we can see current price action in case something happens. There's current price action right there. So nothing really for us at the moment. But when I look at price dropping aggressively right away, we create a fair value gap. We reference that point. We're not going to try to go long here. It doesn't make sense. We really wanted to see the previous day low hit. I don't know if I would have taken this. If I'm really honest, I don't know if I would have taken it because of this previous day low. The mistake I see traders make, I mean, you can go back and you can look at this in past price action, is when price hits a low like this, people will still try to go short and then it's short-lived and it doesn't actually play out. So I don't know if I would have taken this short here. I'm guessing even though it plays out in hindsight, I don't think I would have had the guts to take it because I would have seen this low taken here, this previous day low. I really would have been looking for longs or would have felt that it may have not been short-lived or it would be short-lived and it could manipulate me out of a position. So you have to have your bias correct to be able to take this off of the 930. or the first fair value gap after. And I think this is a great strategy if you can really nail down the bias for that session. It doesn't have to be for the day. It just needs to be for the session. ICT talks about the 15-minute time frame being the candle for your session, or the 5-minute and the 15-minute. Let's see here. Where would we have gotten that 15-minute close? So it would have been at 44. So 44 would have been right here. That gives us an order block. Very, very small. That's really small. What about on the 5-minute? So here's a 5-minute order block. Here's another 5-minute order block. That would have been at 9:49. 9:49. Right here is that order block. Okay, you could have done it off of the 5-minute. You could have got your confirmation for lower prices if, I think the big factor for me is if this wasn't here. If this draw on liquidity was, let's say, down here, I would have and could have taken that trade. So let's just say your previous day low is down here. Okay, not up here, but the previous day low is down here. On that 5-minute close, making this 5-minute order block right here, we displace lower, creating that order block. You would have had to anticipate that this was going to be an order block, because it wouldn't have formed until after you take your entry, which would have been down here. That's when this order block is confirmed. But you could have taken this entry here with the drawn liquidity lower, assuming that this was going to turn into an order block. That would have been your entry. I like that. Yeah, this is the things you guys it's good to do when you're sitting watching price. All right, so we have reacted to these lows, close to them, and we had a large displacement. 2 minutes left. It's 10 o'clock right now. 10:02. Yeah. It would have been very, very quick. You could got 10, 20 handles out of that easily. The big factor for me is, where was that previous day low? If it was a little bit lower and we didn't hit that previous day low, that would have been an entry. But because of that being hit, I would have not wanted to mess around with that. It could still work out. It just doesn't give me a higher probability of what I want to see. Looks like we're going to get an order 5-minute. Except we didn't really hit a level here. Rejection block is all we got. This is our rejection block here. Everything below that candle, this wick, is called a rejection block in ICT's concepts. That's a rejection block. And based on this reaction here, tells me we are probably moving in the other direction. I'm not taking a long here because we could come all the way back down here, which that's 30 handles. So now we're just looking for an opportunity for structure to give us an entry. I like this high for a breaker. I'm being careful though because we still have these new day opening gaps down here, as well as this swing low right here. The 5 minutes come into a 5-minute fair value gap, which that is all it needs to do to want to actually move lower. So this is why we have to be careful, and we got to look at all the different things that gives us that tells us where price wants to go. So we are in the time frame for an opportunity. We have price action that is potentially presenting an opportunity. We just have to be careful. What could happen? We could bounce off this breaker and move higher. We could run this level here for a continued move lower. I would be open to taking both with this draw and liquidity down here. Also, more interested in going longer from a breaker potentially because we've already dropped significantly and we should get some type of retracement. And we should be able to pull out 10 to 20 handles. Excuse me. Okay, so we're not going to try to chase price moving higher here. Some traders will buy into strength. I'm not interested in that because of the types of retracements you can get. I'd rather buy into a retracement instead of stop below the fair value gap. This is still a large fair value gap. It's about 15 handles. What I would love is an aggressive move lower that stops, gives me a 1 minute change in state of delivery to move higher. I'd be interested in something like that. But if we're gonna do what we see right here, just this slow grind higher, I don't want to mess with that. I'm not gonna do that. If we look at the 15-minute chart, I'd like to see a 15-minute close above this. That would be nice. That'd be a change in state of delivery on a 15-minute time frame, which should just be a continued confirmation that we're moving higher. The thing we got to be careful about is right here is a 15-minute fair value gap. That you could get a 15-minute touch into here and then a continuation lower, especially if we still have levels down here if it wants to continue lower. I like that we haven't grabbed it yet and we're dropping. Waiting. I mean, guys, when I look at this, I mean, here's our accumulation. This is our distribution stage. And then we potentially will see our reaccumulation stage. So this is the market maker. This is a market maker, what looks to be a market maker buy model. That's how I see this, is a market maker buy model. Accumulation, distribution lower, smart money reversal somewhere here, and then our move higher. I'm not saying we go to this high, but I'm saying that we at least could complete this high right here, it being a market maker buy model, if it's a market maker buy model. That's how I would view this and how I want it to show me. This might be a longer stream because I'm still sitting here. But I'm seeing the evidence of a market maker buy model, and that's what I'm waiting for. See if we can get an opportunity on that. I hope that the conversation in regards to talking about price action and pointing out order flow is helpful for you guys. If you guys are enjoying the stream despite the lack of trading, hit that like button. I'd greatly appreciate it. It means a lot. It means I'm doing something right. That's what that tells me. It means I'm doing something right, and I appreciate that. Second thing is, if you guys do use Apex or you use a funding firm, and you use Apex, use the code DTJ. It's a free way to support me from all of this free live streaming that I do. So thank you. Really don't want it to go without me here. Here it's doing all this stuff here. It really didn't give me any opportunity to go long. This is a slow grind up, Deborah. Charles, congrats, man. 3 and done, 3 and out. Get out of here. Glad to have you here today. We'll be on tomorrow. So come hang out with us again tomorrow if you want to join us. We're on every day for the most part. 9:20 Eastern Standard Time. About 10 minutes before the market opens, we are live. I have my son staring at me at the window. No school today for my kids. So look at the 15 minute. The 15-minute candle wicked up into this 15-minute fair value gap. Barely. We call that an institutional order flow entry drill. Now, we should see some lower prices. Now, my question is, do we stop here to then move higher, or does it just melt and continue lower? I have a hard time believing for lower prices. See you, Charles. Have a blessed day, man. We're going to watch price come into this level. At least I'm hoping. And we'll see what price does around this level. That's what we're watching. All right, Deborah. We'll see you tomorrow as well. Or the day after, or whenever you want to come back. Glad to have you. Glad that you're here. I think one of these days I got off stream and like 3 minutes later we had like a 50 handle move. Sometimes it happens that way. Right now I'm just waiting. The only thing I'm really waiting for is, do we get something right here? If we don't get something right here, I'll be done. This would also be considered like ICT's model 2022. $19,105. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to want to target these tiny relatively equal lows when you got those giant equal lows above that have been there for but man, quite a drop this morning. Quite the drop. It's just a slow grinding day. Doesn't make fun. I mean, we've had a couple where in the first 15 minutes we had like 2 trades. Those are great days. Those are great days. Those make fun conversation days. Everybody's excited. There's activity. Now, I'm not saying that there hasn't been activity. It's just I wanted to go long and we went lower. So I missed opportunities. I probably wouldn't have taken really any of them. Okay, we're watching this. I'm watching this fair value gap right here. I want to see if we find resistance in it. If you are understanding price action, we need a very strong bullish close above 19,218. So, I don't care if we get a bullish reaction here or not because I don't have an entry opportunity here. What I would rather see is us, oops, Deborah, is to see something like this. We just come down to this breaker and then have an aggressive move higher, or an aggressive move lower. It stops inside this fair value gap, and then aggressive move higher right away. And then if there's a fair value gap in here, you could take that as a long. You could go long down here. You could go long on the retest if there's a retest of this level right here, and then go higher from there. So there's opportunities, but typically I want to see aggressive candles in light of where my model's at to tell me that I'm either on the wrong side or on the right side. So typically, if you see an aggressive candle right now that drops aggressively lower and it stops in this fair value gap, I would call that manipulation to try to get people to go short, because look at the evidence we've had so far. Everything's been to the downside. So if they do an aggressive candle lower, people might try to play the breakout of it. It stops right here. And then what does it do? It reverses and starts moving the other direction. That's the kind of idea I personally would want to see, because I've seen that happen so many times before. Yeah, my breaker is sitting right here. I have it anchored on the body, the highest green candle's body. You could do it on the wick, but I like the body because it also overlaps this fair value gap. That's kind of the idea behind that. Now, the question is, where do I want to take my entry? Do I want to take it at the breaker? Do I want to take it at the fair value gap? Do I want to take it at the consequent encroachment? Right? Because this is a larger candle and I want to have a relatively tight stop loss. I might let price play out here and give me an indication on when it wants to start moving the other direction before I take an entry. It's kind of those, you do it based on past experience and you take that entry based on that. So we did reject this inversion fair value gap. It respected that and it moved lower and grabbed that low. That's what I wanted to see to tell me if we were going to continue down to this price. Man, I definitely feel the time on stream at 2 hours. I'm feeling it now. I'm getting tired. Wonder sometimes if it's the light that's right here. You see some traders, they wear glasses because the light's in their eyes. Should I do this? I don't like it. Order flow is bearish even on a 15-minute now. So it'd be better to override a 15-minute fair value gap, use it as an inversion. If we target highs at 690, there will still be much opportunity. 100%. Yeah, you have to be very careful. 15-minute, a close above that would have been nice. We didn't quite get that. This was the level I'm referring to. A 15-minute close above this level is what Surgical Striker is talking about. We got 3 minutes left on this 15-minute candle here. On a 5-minute perspective, We did just wick this 5 minutes high sitting right here, which also is the breaker. Please don't go. That's what it just touched right there. If it goes without us, it goes without us, I guess. I didn't want to. I would rather not take here and have all of this as your potential drawdown. 20 handles. I'm not going to do that. You're welcome, Deborah. That's what this is for. Because I'm already sitting here. I'm already going to be in front of the charts. I have a heart to help people. And I want to see other people break free from the grind of employment or working for somebody else, an employer. At this point, I feel like it's going to be a lunch macro. It really hasn't shown us it's not going to go down here yet. If we just get an explosion higher right here, I'll probably call it a day, guys. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. Either we explode higher so I can stop streaming, or we come down here for an opportunity to go long. We can also use this fair value gap as a way to go short, so this is an option as well. I'm open to both sides. Prefer the breaker to the upside. Let's see, I was looking back when I started streaming. It will now be May, June, July, August. So by September 7th, I'll be streamed pretty much 3 to 4 days a week for 4 months now. 4 months of live streaming for you guys. I've enjoyed it. I really have. Did you eat your bagel? Why not? And mom doesn't want to make you food? She's working? Okay. I'll be done in a few minutes and I'll help you. Okay? Okay. All right, so here's our breaker. We're finally getting a little bit of a drop, and look at what time it is. It is 11:31, so this is a time. I'm not going to take this here. I want to see how we react to this level. I'm interested in a long here. I'm also open to a short here. You could also play the inversion from this for this low resistance liquidity. Just let's see how it tapped the breaker to the tick right here. See if it wants to dig a little bit deeper. And drop down to the 30-second to see if we get a 30-second change in state of delivery. Meaning I want to see if we get a 30-second order block on one of these, or if we're just going to keep moving lower. Here's a 30-second inversion fair value gap that would be nice to the long side if it gets aggressive off of this breaker and fair value gap. Okay, there's our 1 minute change in state of delivery right there. I'm going to take a personal long right there. I'm going to look for confirmation on the close above this. No close yet. We want the confirmation of a close on the 30-second above this fair value gap sitting right there. We have all this nice low resistance liquidity. I would love for it to run. Equal highs right here at the 829 new day opening gap. Let's see if we can get that. I'm going to sell 2 right there. I have 5 micros. I got 3 left. Would love to target that high there. I'm going to set my stop at break even. So now this will be a free trade. Okay, there's the push higher. Here, let me I'll show you guys. I can show you my screen share. There's that right there. This is the trade I'm in right now. All right, I'm going to take another one off there, because we just hit our new day opening gap level that I had referenced on the other charts. Let's see if it wants to push any higher here. We'll take one contract off there right here. And then I will hold a remainer. I'll hold a runner to see if we want to move any higher. I'm watching my other chart right now because that's where all my analysis is done, but I'm showing you guys the actual trade. So right now, that's what I'm looking at right now, is I'm seeing how it wants to react to this level. Maybe target, I ideally would like to target that. My entry that I got in long at, I was at 91.50. Right there, that was my long. That's my position right now. So I'm going to stay on this chart so you guys can see what I'm actually looking at. My executions are in another chart. I'm okay with it coming down to this level here. This would be an order, this would be a breaker. Almost done, bud. This is I'm in a trade right now, and when I'm done with the trade, I'll come make you breakfast, okay? I'm sorry, just give me a second, okay? All right, great reaction from this breaker so far. I would have preferred it to be a green candle to tell me that we are wanting to move the other direction. We could still go lower with a red candle here. Again, I would have rather see that be green. It didn't give me a green. Nice wick, but no green candle. I don't like that. So I'm up about 30 handles right now. 30 handles from the initial entry sitting here. Would love for it to get up to here. That would be about a 40 handle move. No, that'd be a much higher move. 190, I don't know what we're at, something. My last defense, if we close below this fair value gap, I'm going to take a contract off. We're still respecting this breaker. As you can see, the bodies have all been above. There's our first close below the breaker high. Not ideal. I'll go back so you can see my entry or my current position. I'm going to be stopped out of one here shortly. Okay, I stopped out of one and I'm stopped out of the other. All right. Well, there it is, folks. Ran against us, didn't run to the high that we wanted. Still a fantastic trade. I could have took more off, but I really wanted to see if I could get something to run there. We're going to call that a day on the live stream. At least we ended on a good note. Got a nice win out of that. We will see you all tomorrow. Thanks for being here. Hit that like button if you appreciated that commentary for that trade. Also, use the code DTJ for your own funded journey on Apex if you